brought to you by Enhanced Property Appearance,
Go get your crib painted. Enhanced Property, the best in the business, man.
Alpha Roofing,
Oh man, that roof too. I know your roof be leaking when it start raining outside.
and Envision Production Agency.
Got the best pictures, videos, whatever. He pull up on you in a drone anywhere in the city.
Check them out.
All right, this is Streets of Success with Tone, Frank, Lil, and Si.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for joining us, Si.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
No doubt.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I can't complain.
Nice. So typically we just get a little background on some of our guests and, where you're from, your upbringing, stuff like that, siblings, school, and stuff like that. So tell people that don't know a little bit about you, where you're from and who you are.
Okay, so I'm Si, affectionately known as Si Moneybags. I'm from North Philly. So I was born in the Badlands, Fort Huntington. And when I was about 9, we moved across town to J Street, 19th and Jefferson. So I was in the public school system. I grew up, it was 7 of us in the house. Y'all don't really need to know all their names.
Row
It was
home?
a lot of us.
Row home? 7 in a row home?
Try an apartment.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, we were
Okay.
struggling.
What was the boy-girl ratio in there?
3 boys, 4 girls.
Okay.
Mom, dad?
Mom, stepdad.
Mom, stepdad.
My dad was present though. He went to prison when I was probably like 13, but he was present. Crazy as shit.
How long was he in jail for? Do you remember that
He had
childhood?
12 years.
Okay.
Yeah, he came home right before me, actually.
Okay. I guess we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Yeah.
So how were you in school? Like, were you good in school?
Oh
bad?
man, I was amazing. Academically. So academically, I've always been an A student, not A B, an A student. Behavior wise, I think they should have challenged me a little more.
Yeah.
And probably would have been too busy to misbehave.
Yeah.
I was idle.
Public school?
Absolutely.
Yeah. For throughout the whole duration of schooling, all public school?
All of it was public.
Did you
Okay.
finish?
I did. I
So-
finished. I went to college. Well, I went to college in prison.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But yeah, I went to college.
A question though, what do you think about the school district, like the Philadelphia school public school system?
I think it sucks.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they're really interested in the children's academics. I take pride in my daughter's. I have a 7-year-old. I take pride in her education, and her teachers were like astonished to know like she goes to the library. That I'm teaching her multiplication, and she's only in the 2nd grade and things of that nature. Like, yeah, because I gotta fix it on the back end.
Right.
I appreciate y'all
taking it
enforcement, but I got it on the back end to make sure.
Taking it upon yourself.
Got to.
Yeah.
Got to.
That's great.
What would you do to change the school system? Like if you had the ability to?
Oh man, you gotta pay them to show up. You gotta. A lot of these people are motivated by money, and to make it make sense for the teachers, pay them what they're worth. And stop pushing these kids forward just because they're old enough.
Right.
They're just scooting them through the system.
Right.
Like, you get left back, you get left back. If you're 40 in the 1st grade, that's where you belong. You know what I mean? They're like,
So how important do you think school is for like success? Do you think it plays a major part in success, or do you think it's just things you need to know to be able to live in society?
yeah, no, school isn't as prevalent because we have, in this new society, social media. So you don't really need the tools that they're teaching in school to be successful these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, most like entrepreneurs and like business owners typically didn't even go to college. I don't even want to say all, but like, I mean, if you look at like the big boys, like they didn't really even go to college, a lot of them. So I feel like it's like I was saying out there when we were talking, like a lot of this is do it your mindset
Absolutely.
for people. Like, like you were saying, like business owners have to be a little off crazy,
Absolutely.
because of what we go through. But like I would say the same thing. Like I don't think that's. I mean, it definitely is helpful. I don't want to say like to anyone who's listening, like, don't go to school. You're not. But
Yeah, of course not.
I don't think that if you have a different goal in mind, I don't think going through 12 years of school is gonna make or break that.
Absolutely.
So, but
I think school, me personally, it is good for like structure and getting you into habits and doing something productive. But what they teach you is not going to help if you're successful or not. No, I don't think so either.
right. I just in some countries like Israel, when you're done high school, you go to the military. It's mandatory for like 2 years. I feel like that really separates people too, because you get a total different discipline there when you go from high school to military. And even like you're saying, like with this school system here about structure, in public school, there really isn't any. I mean, it's like, it's horrible.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah,
We're supposed to be,
thank
right.
you for saying that, because I was just thinking like, yeah, their structure is sort of like the structure of prison.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a hallway bandit too. In public, yeah. I stayed in hallway. I really didn't learn anything in public school. Yeah.
And what I'm learning, and I was just having this conversation with my mom. I said, because next year coming, I'm sending my daughter to private school. And I just was like, my daughter, she's so her personality, she's such a sweet kid. She comes from love, so she poured love into literally anybody she meets. She would have been in here like, oh my God, I like your eyes. Oh, do you know my mom? Like she would have been in here like her energy is always so amazing. And being as though she's in public school at the moment, a lot of those kids don't come from love. And what I learned is that makes them mean, right? And what
Steve.
she's enduring, what she's enduring, she don't really deserve. And I feel like it's because of the kids not being poured into. So they are only delivering what they know, right? Which is the mean and nasty behaviors. And she doesn't understand that. She's like, I just want to be friends. She's like, I just love
Innocent.
everybody. I want to buy this. Mom, can you buy my friends this? And Mom, can they go with us this place and that place? And she does literally everything you could think of. She was telling her class like, "Oh, I have a recital coming up," and they're looking at her like, "The fuck are you talking about, a recital?" And it's just like kids that can't relate to her. Going to destroy her if I allow her to continue in that realm, and I refuse to allow that. So when you put her around like-minded environment, I feel like it'll be better for her, and it'll help maintain her character, because I can't allow Philadelphia to destroy my daughter and her innocence. And I feel like if I keep her in the public school system, that's what'll happen. Unfortunately,
It's kind of like molding her into somebody you don't want her to be, because if they start being nasty, she's going to reciprocate.
Absolutely.
Just because it's going to be self-nature of.
And it's crazy because my mom is old school. So, they say something to her, my mom be like, you tell them that. I'm like, no, ma'am, I'm not raising my daughter like that. She will not tell them that. I'm not going to tell her kiss their kids. She's like, they shouldn't be bothering her. And I'm like, yeah, but we're going to teach her a different way. We're not going to tell her to tell them to kiss anything or F anyone. Like, no, that's not the response. And it's like, I gotta protect her from becoming that person that my mom's gonna keep trying to coach her to be behind the scenes.
Well, good for you to even recognize that.
Absolutely.
And like, some people are, I'm gonna go talk to their mom. And they're a part of the problem too, rather than the solution.
Yeah, more often than not, because I'll have a conversation with a mother in a heartbeat. Because hold on, Miss Ma'am, about my child. I have conversations with people's moms all the time, because like where my store is, where my restaurant is, it's so many schools around there. So I'm always walking kids to school, because if you like this little, where the hell are you going? I just like literally on the way here, I've seen these two kids. I'm 7 and probably 5. Where the fuck are y'all? Like, where are y'all going? I literally pulled the car over. I was on the phone with a friend, and I'm like, I'm gonna call you back. I need to find out where these kids are going in. Now I gotta get out the car and follow these kids to where they're going at to make sure they're safe. Where's the parent? Because my daughter at 7, she's not walking across a street. What the hell?
Yeah.
It's insane. It's like nobody is caring. But when they know you care, is a difference. Like I watched the high schoolers going to school. I step outside. Where y'all going? They were like, yo, this lady always in my business. Yes, because I want to know. Where you going?
Right.
And I feed the kids, like the high schoolers. So I got $5 meals for high school students. For seniors, it's free. So they can eat for free. So they always coming in there because they know they can get a meal. They know they gonna get some conversation. They get loved on. They get picked on. I do pick on them because I do talk trash. I'm from North Philly, so I do talk trash. But they know they love too. They know they're cared about. I think I'm on my fourth or fifth prom dress I done paid for. Like I do a lot for the kids. I just don't post it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need nobody disadvantages posted. I don't need to do all that. They know they can come to me. They know they got me.
So you have a restaurant? Is that
Yes.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
And where is it at?
2832 Ridge Avenue.
And I'm sorry, what's the name of it?
Size Palace.
Size Palace. Okay.
Well, we could get into that, but first I want to talk about this prison. That was, a topic earlier that we were talking about. So where did, things start to go left? You say you were good in school, academically good, behavior-wise not so really. You finished school. I'm assuming then you start getting into like a street life around then.
So
or?
what happened was, my father went to prison when I was like 13. My stepfather, no, I was 12 when my father went to prison. My stepfather moved out. They got a divorce when I was 13. So it was like the house started disseminating. Like the structure that I knew, it started falling apart. And my older siblings, everybody's doing for self. Everybody got their own thing going on. And it's just like my younger brother and sister, my mom is their stepmom. So they went back to their mom and it's like, I'm really the youngest in the house, the only person, and nobody's paying attention. I got to fend for me. Nobody's really concerned about what I got going on because my mom stopped being a housewife. She went back outside.
Were you one of those kids that you were referring to earlier that was 5 and 7 walking around, just a little older?
My neighborhood would have kicked my ass, so no.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a little different back then.
Yeah, 5 and 7 walking around, absolutely not. Again, I was like 13 when I started realizing like nobody paying attention to me, and I started going outside more and doing mischief in the neighborhood. Getting into things. Because now you're starting to see people wearing designer and things of that nature. My mom not about to spend no money on that shit. She got to go get drink. She about to go out with her girlfriends. She ain't about to buy me no Jordans. Yeah. But I want Jordans. So guess who's going outside to go get them?
How are you getting them?
So I started going into the sneaker stores, asking for my size, telling them it's the wrong size. Once I switch the sneakers off, put on the ones that I want, put my old ones in the box, and then I'll leave out while they go into the back to go get me another pair. By the time they get back, I'm gone.
They don't check the box, or
once they come back, I'm going.
Okay.
So by the time they check it, I'm on the 33 with my new routes already. That's on them by the time they check it.
So do you think it was the lack of love home or like just the influence from the streets?
Both more often. My mom's not an affectionate person. Okay. Or let me say, my mom wasn't an affectionate person when I was growing up. And quite naturally, it came from her upbringing. She said her mom wasn't an affectionate person. But what I find these days now, my mom's so affectionate, especially with my younger daughter. She's way more affectionate now. Like, I'll pull up, she'll come give me a hug. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, here we go. All right. Yeah. But she wasn't always that way. And I think her recognizing the difference now, she's way more affectionate than she's ever been.
That's what's up.
So you're stealing Jordans, right? You keep going.
Jordans, Guess jeans,
Sergio's. How are you getting it? How were you getting it? Like clothes, jeans, and shirts and all.
So initially I was like going into the dressing rooms and putting it on. Like, with time the method changed. Like the more I grew in it and developed, the more
craftier.
The craftier I got. There you go. So it started with going into the dressing room, popping the sensors off, and putting the clothes around my body or putting it in a bag and things of that nature. Finding the they used to have like these little sticker alarms under the pants and all of that stuff. So I had to find all these things out through trial and error. Sometimes I'm getting chased out of stores. And then I started going down South Philly for the summer, and that's where the real boosters was at. So they taught me different methods.
To this day,
they taught me different methods. They said, no, you can't go in there. You don't got time to break the alarm off and do all of this stuff. They got ink alarms. They got this. They got that. You got to make a bag. So they taught me how to make the little alarm bags, and then I started making those and going in the store, filling it up, and just leaving.
And
Like,
around what age was this when you like pursued this from what
like,
ages?
Like 14 to 17.
14 to 17? Did you do juvenile time because of this?
So I've never been convicted.
Okay.
I've been arrested. I've never been convicted. And more often than not, they got to chase me. You got to earn anything you get from me. You got to earn. I ain't got to chase me down.
Does the bad behavior progress now? So like does it ever go from stealing from stores to like stealing from people? Like,
So I wasn't a house thief. But what I did, hanging with different people. I remember one time robbing a drug dealer, and it felt so weird. It was like, this is corny. Like, these people out on the corner every day trying to get to it. Like, I felt nutty, so I never did it again. And then when I was introduced to the bank robberies and stuff, I was like, yeah, okay, I can do this. You know, it's different. We talking about insured money, nobody get hurt. I was okay and confident with that. I didn't really like the threat posed to people who come from the same background as me more often than not, standing out there struggling and striving to get their money, and then me just coming up to take it.
So you had like
easy and weird.
you had a conscious at least when you
absolutely.
were doing this. Like, I don't want to take from my people
Yeah,
in
for
my
sure.
area, but this money is nothing, and nothing's gonna.
Absolutely.
There's no backlash besides me getting caught.
Yeah, for sure.
there was a big jump there that we just jumped over. So you went from stealing from stores to robbing banks. Is that
Small banks and check cashing places.
okay?
So how'd you start getting into that?
My mate, the person I was dealing with at the time.
Okay.
What was the method? Like, I'm just curious if like, did you go in with like a Smith and Western or no?
Frankie trying to learn. He trying to grab some big.
We'll be planning tomorrow morning.
If this pain shit ever dies down, I need something to fall back on. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Just kidding.
no, right. Yes. No, so different. It depends on which place it was. It depends on what method I decided to use. I've been in a place with a bottle of gasoline and a lighter. So
She's crazy. We're all gonna die. She's
No,
like,
that was just
I
a
like
method.
it. I like this shit right now.
Did you ever get any scratch offs? No. I'm just kidding. I had to ask that.
He's thinking of a check cashing place, all them scratch offs in there.
They always have them right there. So you went from robbing check cashing places. So it was people, stores, then check cashing places to banks, small banks.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say,
Like
small
when they were,
banks.
like down south and stuff like that.
Oh, not locally.
No.
You were traveling.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Well, that's
how'd
how
you
I
know?
became a federal inmate.
This shit's-
Interstate conference.
Oh damn! Crossing county federal lines
There
and all.
goes that.
How'd you know? Like, how'd you choose? Like, which bank you were gonna rob and stuff?
Oh, so we're always so there was a team of people who would go find them in different cities, and then I would case them and then come up with the concept of how we would do it.
So you're a good planner. That's what it sounds like. Wow.
Executionist.
What's the most you ever got away with? The most amount of money?
So I want to say on record,
On record,
250,000.
$250,000.
One pop. All right. So now
250,000.
more questions come. What do you buy? How do you spend that money? Like, $250,000 cash? It's kind of, I would imagine. It's kinda
Yeah,
hard
so
to-
when you thinking about the splits, right? Because there's not only me. I'm not walking away with 250,000 by myself, and I didn't really have guidance because nobody knew what I was doing, and money even to this day, which is kind of bad, but it has no real value to me, and I didn't use it properly. I'll say, because I didn't really have no knowledge. So I thought giving it out was decent, buying everybody in the neighborhood sneakers.
Jordans.
Like
and,
the Robin
you know what I
Hood.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
Guess jeans.
things of that nature was what excited me.
I got a
so.
thumbnail on mine already. Female Robin Hood.
So 250. So then you rob the banks, or you rob a bank. What do you get in a year? How many banks do you hit? Is it just like
Yeah,
a
how
real
long's it
planning
run?
session? Yeah, like is it a real planning session?
No, not really. I'll say the run was like from the time I was 8. It was like right after I had my daughter, so it was like 18 to 20.
2 years about.
Yeah.
How many banks do you
Yeah, a
hit
little
during the
over.
2 years? Can you say? No?
That's the part. So
A lot.
A lot.
yeah, quite a
Wasn't-
few.
Okay,
We'll
yeah,
just leave it
yeah,
at
few.
that.
Yeah,
We're just
quite
gonna
a
leave
few.
it at
few.
that.
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah. Dang. So that was the method every time. No guns, right?
Who said that?
Oh, you use
You just made that up.
Oh, my bad. So
No, I said the method was different every time. I ain't saying I ain't use no guns. I definitely
Oh.
use guns. You got to pose a threat.
oh,
But if you watch people long enough, you see what they'll react to, how scary they are. You know who
Okay.
you're dealing with. So
okay.
Just said she's a good planner. She
So-
she had each person down.
Executionist.
Jane likes overnight oats. And
She don't like a chainsaw. She don't like a gun.
right.
So look, you're doing this. You're come up after come up after come up. You're spreading the money out, spreading out the love. You can say. What point does it come to a halt?
So there was a guy who was brought into the fold, who was originally just a person that used to find them, right? And once he'd heard, because he would read the papers and stuff, and he would be like, damn, like he knows what was taken, or what they're saying was taken. So it's like, damn, if everybody giving me $2,000 for just finding the spot, what do I get if I go in? And it was like, he wouldn't take no for an answer. Like I want to go in. And so once he went in about twice. First time he froze. Well, I'm gonna say he went in once. The one that I told him we shouldn't do, he went ahead and did and got arrested. So when he got arrested, he flipped in the back of the police car.
It's always one.
Yeah,
Like,
In the back of the
Just stay
police.
on-
like
just
they
stay
ain't
on the
even,
back end and
listen,
find 'em.
the back, they ain't even get him inside.
Do what you're good at. Let us do what we're good at.
Wow.
Damn,
Right in the back of the
he
car.
cuffed the nigga. He said,
Dang.
crazy.
So you get caught. Do they
You
knock
get
on
brought
your
in for
door?
questioning?
Yeah.
So, imagine the feds just bring you in for questioning. So that's the funny part is they kept saying that, like I left before they got there, and my sister called me and was like, no, my mom called me and was crying like, the cops here looking for you. And I did have a previous case in Montgomery County, so I'm like, damn, I don't go to court for that for a couple days.
What was that case for?
That was, I think I had a fight or something like that. I can't really recall.
It wasn't in the same for the
No.
same stuff. Okay.
No. But I'm like, damn, I ain't doing court for that for like a couple days. So I didn't think it would be done. But I asked, I was like, is it Montgomery County? And she was like, you hear somebody in the background like, is that her? And she hung up. So I'm like, the fuck? Who was that? And one of my neighbors called and was like, it's all these cops out here. They looking for you. They got your sister and them lined up. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, what kind of cops are they? So I was like, Montgomery County. They keep saying Montgomery County because it had to be the county. Who else would be coming to get me? And she walked up and she's like, that's a ATF. I said, oh, shit. ATF. Sheesh. She was like, yeah, it's a ATF FBI. I was like, damn, I'm fucked. Because they looking for you serious. So later on, she had sent me a number. Like, they left this number with your mom. And I'm like, I'm not calling these fucking people. But, I used to smoke. So, you smoke weed, you get to thinking. So I'm thinking, I'm like, damn. I start smoking. I'm like, let me call them and see what they say. And I called her, but of course I watched too much TV. When I called her and she answered, I was like, so what y'all looking for me for? She's like, well, you could just turn yourself in. I hung up the phone. And then I called her back. And I was like, because I ain't wanted to go over a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So they can't track you. Is that true?
I don't know. I was young. I watched too much TV.
Yeah.
So I called their back and I'm like, but when you say turn myself in, that sounds like I'm going to jail. I don't like the way that sounds. So I'm not really, why you can't just ask me the questions over the phone? She's like, that's not how it goes. So I hung up. And then I
Was it
started
getting close
smoking
to a
again.
minute again?
Yeah. It started getting close to a minute, so I hung up. And then I called her back. And I probably did that like all night. And then once the sun started coming up, I was like, I can't do this shit. Like, I can't turn myself in. And then I'm talking to my grandfather, and he's like, I'll put up everything. Just go. Just turn yourself in. I was like, yeah, that don't sound nice. I don't like the way that sounds. Like, when you say turn yourself in, that sound like jail. It sound like you're going to be away. And he was like, well, let me know what you decide. Where are you? I just sound like, yeah, Grandpa, I'm not about to tell you where I'm at. You sound like you about to tell the people, come get me. I don't like that.
You were in Philadelphia still at this time?
I was.
You're still in Philly?
Yeah, I keep telling you, I was a child. I didn't know no better.
Yeah.
All this money and nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And that morning, I had just one of my childhood friends had killed himself and killed his baby mom, and so I drove up. Him and my cousin used to deal with each other, and that was like somebody that was real dear to her. So I drove up to her college, like I'm not on the run. Drove all the way up to her. God, drove all the way up to her college. Went to her classes with her. Talked to her the whole day. Never told her I was on the run. Gave her all this money and told her to hold it. I'll be back.
Yeah.
And then I was driving, and I'm like, you know what? I got the dollars. I was like, you know, I should just turn myself in. They can't really have nothing. And then the more I talked to people, I talked to my daughter's father, and he was like, "You gonna turn yourself in?" I was like, "Yeah, I ain't really with this on the run shit. I'm dirty. I don't got time." I was like literally in bushes and shit.
How long were you on the run for?
A couple days.
A couple days.
And it was like, yeah, this shit ain't for me. I'm gonna go ahead and turn myself in.
Yeah. Now, is it true? Do you know? I heard it when I was in the county, but the feds have like a 98% conviction rate. Like, they're only coming for you if they know they got you.
So they have a 98% conviction rate because they scare people to death.
Yeah.
So people go
deal.
ahead and
Cop
cop
out.
out. It's not because they're just that thorough. Because they are, if they did their job, then the jails would be empty. Because they don't do no work. They just scare the shit out you. I remember
That might be their job.
Yeah, there you go. Scare you halfway to
Right,
death
yeah, so-
and get you to say, I did it.
That's,
I remember they were like cussing me out, and I'm just staring at him like, he was like, you know what? You gotta, you'll never see your daughter again. And I'm like, damn, that's a long ass time. They gonna give me that shit. He was like, you're gonna do 50 years. Your daughter gonna be 30 when you come home. I said, she only 3. The fuck? What kind of math is he doing? Like, I was like, I'm gonna just be quiet because I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what he got up his sleeve.
So when you, I don't want to skip, but when you go to bring it back, how do you turn yourself in? Do you like call them? All right, come get me now. Do you show up somewhere?
Yeah, so I was
And
like,
how do you feel at that time of like giving yourself
worst
up?
part, crazy. I felt
Yes.
crazy.
I don't
The
wanna
worst part
bring it
is,
back up, but-
yeah, no, it's fine. I remember I had went to my ex's best friend house, and I was high, and I mean I was talking to him, and we going over the fact that they had picked him up and all of this stuff, and he like, what you gonna do? I'm like, I don't know, I gotta figure it out. And he gets a knock at the door. It's the feds. So he tells me, like, go in the basement. So I go in the basement, and I'm down there like, damn. So I'm listening to him at the window, and they're like, if you're involved in this, you're going to go down, da-da-da-da. And he's like, you could come check my house. I'm like, why the fuck would he tell him that? What you mean, come check your house? My heart is racing. I'm like, what the fuck is he? Like, is he setting me up? I go in the basement and get inside of a trash bag. I'm in the basement, so I get inside of a trash bag and just put all this stuff over me. He's literally walking them through his house. I'm like, this motherfucker's crazy. He got to be lining me up. So when I hear them leave out, like I bust out of the trash bag, I'm fucking drenched. So he's like, listen, you got to go. They still sitting outside. And I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I leave out the back, and I'm going through the alley, all these sticky bombs and shit. I'm like filthy. I call my daughter father, like, listen, I'm going to go ahead and turn myself in. Like, I got sticky bombs and shit on me. I'm dirty. I'm sweaty. So he was like, where you at? I was like, I told him where I was. I was not too far from here, actually. And I climbed over the gate. I got stuck to the fucking barbed wire. I was like, yeah, this running shit ain't for me. And he picked me up. I called them like, listen, I'm going to meet y'all at the building. I'm coming to turn myself in. They like, okay. Man, you would have thought it was all their idea. I pulled up in front of the federal building. they like snatch my daughter father out the car, snatch me out the car. It's like 3,000 cops. Like, all right, like this wasn't y'all. Like I'm already here. Like the fuck, like it was a mess.
Now I'm gonna run.
Yeah, like seriously. After I called you and told you come get me, surely I'm out.
So how was it like when you turned yourself in? Did you like decide to fight after you found out he was telling, or did you cop out?
The worst mistake of my life. No. So when I was on pretrial for 2 years.
Whoa.
2 years before. So originally I think they got like 90. It's like 87 days or 98 days or something like that. No, it's 89 days that they got to
Speedy trial or something?
not a speedy trial. It's a what is it called? They got 89 days to give you an indictment, right? So I was originally there on a criminal complaint. And they like if they don't bring it to you, I mean if they don't have it on the 89th day, you can go home. I did not get that joint. Like mail call came, I got my mail, I got everything. I was so happy. I'm like, yo, I'm out of this joint in the morning. The fucking CO slid that joint under my door. I almost threw up. Like, what?
On the 89th day?
The 89th day, he slid the indictment under my door. I almost threw up. The fuck? I thought I was going home in the morning.
That's the worst feeling. I remember I got granted house arrest. So I was in the county for like 9 months. They granted me house arrest. And I'm calling home, I even got a paper, house arrest granted. But my back judge didn't lift my detainer.
That's
so
what
I thought
happened to me too.
I thought I was going home.
The worst.
Then they kept going down for a hearing.
Yeah.
Denied. I was like,
Same thing. That's crazy.
That'd be worse.
so now you're there for a stay.
Yeah, my lawyer, grimy ass nigga, he told me I would be there. He's like, look at it like this, you'll spend the week. Well, that's who actually convinced me to turn myself in. Because he was like, he looked it up, he said it wasn't that deep. And he was like, look at it like this, you'll spend the weekend with Lil' Kim.
What?
Man,
He said that?
what? Wallahi, that nigga said that. And she was gone. I was like, damn. The weekend.
Oh,
That shit turned into 10 years.
That was at that time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that shit turned into 10 years.
So did you rumble? You wound up rumbling, or you? Was
No, I pled out because if I wouldn't have pled out, they would have gave my co-defendant more.
So you were fighting for how long before you took a deal?
Two and a half years.
2.5 years. And what were the deals before your final deal? Like, what were they offering? I know, like, during the time, they probably come another deal, or
30.
30 years.
Yeah, 30.
How'd your stomach, not how you felt, how did your stomach feel when you seen that?
I didn't even care about that because I knew they was full of shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So the reality is that the best place to fight for me was in prison, right? And I say that because I'm locked up with a lot of women who already been through this. They already sentenced. Like, it's women in there who really got the time that they was talking about, but it's for real stuff. And there's women in there who, didn't get that time because of the way they played it.
They were bluffing.
So when you sit there with all of that, it's like, oh, all right, yeah, this is just what they do.
It's crazy because, like, this is somebody's life, and you're just going to throw a number out there, like, yeah, just take this.
Trying to scare them half
the whole
to death.
time, you'll give them 10 years, but you want them to take 30. Like, that's insane.
Like, now, I wouldn't have knew about no guidelines, sentencing guidelines, or none of that stuff if I wasn't in prison, because who the hell on the street talking about the sentencing guidelines? So, like, now while I'm in there, the women telling me, like, oh, yeah, you don't even got no priors. This, that, the 30 of it. This the sentencing guidelines. This is this, that. So you going to fall right here. And I'm
Did you hit the law library at all when you were in there? Did you do research and stuff?
Sure. Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
As you should.
That's the crazy part, because a lot of times when, like, we running around in the streets, we don't know nothing about the system, no laws, none of that.
Just trusting the lawyer to handle it.
Yeah.
The whole time he feeding you to the wolves.
And I'm like, what's
They're golfing
preliminary?
together
What's
with
this?
the judge.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
My first lawyer was a piece of shit.
It's crazy. That's how I was. I had the guy, Gerald Stein. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Nope. I had
kept
Robert
telling me.
Grindberg is what I call him.
Who?
Robert
Crazy,
Grindberg.
man.
His name
Gamberg?
Gamberg, but
That was my
that's
lawyer.
a grimy ass nigga.
That's
your
my
lawyer?
Yeah.
That's a grimy ass
He
nigga.
sold you out too, right?
I took it to trial and lost. He told me to take it to trial, but it was the deal that I got was better than the time that I got was better than the deal that I got actually.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't give me no less than 6 to 20. We went to trial, lost. I got a 5.5 to 10.
That's crazy.
Five minutes,
How
11.
we both sitting here? Y'all had the same lawyer.
That nigga was a piece of shit.
No coincidences.
Yeah, he just
I'm
said.
telling you, there again. We were just talking about that, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
So now they gave you 30. What was the next deal that they tried to offer you?
So they came out with like 10.
10?
A hell of a difference, ain't it?
Yeah.
Did the girls in jail tell you though, like when they said 30, did they already tell you like it's not going to be 30, it's going to be 10? Like
Your
did you already
guidelines.
pretty much knew that?
Yeah,
You knew
for sure.
Okay.
The guidelines don't carry that.
So you learned that as you're going up to getting
For
your
sure.
yeah, wow.
They like, you don't even have no criminal history. Like, you got criminal history, you don't got no convictions. That's not a criminal history. They can't do that. I'm like, all right.
So you think if you would have had a better lawyer, you would have got less time?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, because originally, right, so what happened, I remember one day, I felt like Rob was a little crafty. And I wasn't feeling him. Like, I gave him all his bread. But we had dealings before. You know, I thought he was thorough. Crap. But he came to see me. And when he pulled me out, I was just telling him, I made up a story. I was like, yo, like, they doing all this telling or saying stuff, and he lying. I said, I never committed no crimes with him. Like, I ain't robbed no banks with him. I used to sell him weight. I never sold weight in my fucking life. So the next morning, I'm on the bus for court. How the fuck I'm on the bus for court? I just seen my lawyer last night. He ain't say nothing about court. I get down there. It's not court. It's the feds. Your lawyer said you wanted to meet. The fuck would I meet with you for? Meet with y'all about what? We know about the weight you sold Dave. How the fuck who told you that? Because I never sold Dave weight. Dave couldn't have told y'all that.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have said that. You understand? I never sold him weight. It wouldn't have made sense.
So he was just trying to get you to talk and get a deal for something else. You ain't say it, but
Yeah.
How
That's a
crazy is
crafty
that?
nigga.
Imagine how many people got jammed up for
Listen,
just
when he came
stuff
back,
like that.
when he came back to the jail to see me, he like, damn kiddo, what are you gonna do? I said, well, I'm sitting over here waiting to see. Waiting to go up Schitt's Creek, fucking with you. So like, you just recuse yourself. It's a wrap.
fired him.
He was like, yeah, for sure. I ain't play it right, but I was young. You know, I feel like he got out on me. Gave that nigga 80 grand. You know what I mean? So just fire you for 80.
Was
and
it
I
cash? No, I'm just kidding.
Mark bills. But I was in the visiting room and there was guys waiting to see him, and I was like, yo, that's your lawyer? They like, yeah. I said, get rid of that nigga. He'll get you life on a 1 to 3. One of the boys was like, it's too late. I said, damn. Crazy. Like everybody that was down there, he got a bad. He gave him a bad joint.
And how old were you when all this was going on?
I got sentenced. I was like 22.
22. So you did 10 years. Is that 10 years? So you get out at 32 years old.
I got out. I was 30.
30.
I went in at 20.
Oh, okay.
I got sentenced when I was 22.
All
2
right.
years fighting the case.
Right.
Oh, okay. So you get that back time or whatever.
So
Yeah,
the
for sure.
feds, you're in the feds, right?
Yep.
They don't keep you in Pennsylvania, right? Don't the feds ship you all like
Yeah. So I was in Danbury, Connecticut.
in Connecticut? Was there a lot of people from Philly in there or no?
Absolutely. Yeah. There was a lot of Philly people.
Is federal, like the jail system, just from watching movies, different from the state correctional facilities?
It ain't the steak and lobster that they be portraying.
Okay. No one's making meatballs in the gravy.
Nah, that's just
jail.
made up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's jail.
For sure, jail. For sure, jail.
So how'd you?
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. And again,
You-
I was gonna say, it's just, I guess, more lenient, where not as restricted, or is it the same?
We not locked in, but it's still count. It's still you gotta be in your cube at a certain time at night.
Okay.
You know.
Did you do
no
any
TV
state time?
room at a certain time? You know. all
You didn't
of
do
that
no
stuff.
state time, so it's hard to kind of compare it to that
I
too.
definitely can't compare it.
Yeah.
Well, you still have time.
What point in time in your bed, like your mindset start changing? Like I gotta go home and change.
I'll say when I got to Connecticut. When I got to Connecticut, I met somebody named Michelle West, right? She was like, you could kind of say like the mother of the prison for real. And she was talking to me. She seen me coming back from laundry. And she was like, I don't know what it is about you, but I just feel like I'm supposed to tell you this. She said, no matter what you do while you're doing your time, however much time that is, because I don't ask people their time, but don't ever stop parenting. And I was like, That was kind of crazy. She just came up and said that, but it stuck with me, and it just made me realize like, yeah, like I got a whole kid out there. Like I definitely can't stop parenting. And what that looked at like for me is I would write letters and introduction basically to the principal, my daughter's teachers, whoever they were at the time. And I would send a self-addressed stamp, an envelope, letting them know like I am present, regardless of my situation. I am in prison, but I do, make sure. Like I literally used to get all her schoolwork, all her report cards, any report or anything. The teachers always reached out to me. And that in itself, it just was like, when I come home, I got to be different. I can't go home the same person that I was prior to going to prison. So I started pursuing my education and just figuring it out for me, because what I knew is what got me here is wanting money. So how do I go home and not want money? I got to, solidify that with my goals and things of that nature. So I started, working toward that from prison.
So do you think wanting money was the problem, or do you think it was the way you were obtaining money was the problem? Because
a little bit of both, right? So when I say wanting money is wanting the fast money, the quick fix as I knew it, right? And what was working for me because of what was taught to me because of my environment.
Okay. Well said.
Who's raising your daughter?
At the time?
Yeah.
Her father.
So you're convicted, you're a young lady, you have a daughter, you're a mom. You probably have the weight of the world on your shoulders and in your head right now.
Quite naturally.
And then that's when, like, I guess all that sinks in for you at some point, and that's when you start, like, do you deal with different people? Do you start, like, trying to find, like, the better people in jail?
So I didn't really do jail, if that makes sense. I lived my life outside of prison. So I did a lot of corresponding with, not that I didn't do stuff in prison, but I more so lived for outside of prison. So with my correspondence courses and all of the other things that I was doing, to deal with me in prison, you got to be on my schedule. I'm busy, and that's the way I needed to maintain my time and be free from what goes in prison. Like, I don't got time for this shit that's going on in here because it's not my life. What's my life is what's outside of here. So I had to focus on that.
Interesting.
Yeah. How was with being in like Connecticut, different state? How was like visits and communication with your family, stuff like that?
Great. My daughter's father was amazing. He never missed a visit.
That's what's up.
Yeah, like, and we were just friends. Like, that's just really, he's really just a real man.
Yeah.
That's my guy. He made sure she was at every visit. He's not a religious person. He made sure she practiced Islam. He made sure she did everything that I wanted done for her. He was diligent in getting it done.
He's a smart man.
Shout out to your baby dad.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to my baby dad.
So when go ahead, Lo.
All right, so you did your time. You came home. Do you got to get granted parole in the feds? Or
no, not during the time that I went.
No? Okay. All right, so you did your time. You came home. What's the first thing you did when you first walked out the gates? Like, as far as like taking a step into you. No, not that.
All right, the second thing or the third thing.
I ain't want them to change their mind. You hear me? I gotta get. It's crazy. I got on the bus. I wouldn't let them come get me or nothing. Like, I was scared straight. I ain't gonna lie. I went straight to the halfway house. I ain't get no food. I ain't get no nothing. I called them like, yeah, I'm at the halfway house. They like, wait, what? Why you didn't tell us we came? Don't come get me. Yeah. I'm scared straight. I'm cool.
Is there a parole or anything in the feds?
Probation.
You're on probation now?
Yeah, I was on probation. I know. I've been home for 9 years now. I ain't got nothing.
How long was that tail? How long was your tail?
5 years.
5 years? So 10 years in there and then 5 year tail?
Technically 15 for sure.
Yeah.
Was the halfway house local to Philadelphia?
It was. And it was miserable.
Nutty.
How about adapting? How about adapting from like, so I know when I was away, I gained a lot of peace with myself and with my environment and had like a structure. And when I came home, you get like thrown into like your old life basically, but you're a new person. How was that like challenge? Like being in a halfway house of people that probably didn't change yet, or, being this new person, now you're back in society with old people and, still the negative environment?
So, it didn't really affect me because I've always had my own. I got a strong character, strong mindset. So being thrusted back into society with these people, I already changed. So it didn't bother me. I was explaining to y'all earlier that someone like a sister to me had some struggles and stuff that she was going through, and I was kind of like mad at everybody else, like why hasn't she been successful? Why is she in the predicaments that she in? And it's like the more time progressed, I realized like she was in the position that she needed to be because that's where she wanted to be.
Right.
I remember doing her a favor, really doing her a favor caused me to go back to prison, right? After coming home. And it was at that moment that I knew like, yeah, my past is my past. Like I can't fuck with nobody.
Yeah.
Because a friend of mine, he was real raw. He was like, you came home with the same moral and manner, with your mindset and your heart, and you think these people are still the same. You don't know these motherfuckers. They not the same people that they were when you went in there. Or maybe they are. But whatever they are, they're not what they were to you, and that's what you need to realize. And I said, damn, that was heavy. It was hard. It was a hard pill to swallow because, you got these attachments to people because of trauma bonding, and you think like, no, these is my sisters. These are my people. And the whole time, like, these are just fucking people. They showed you who they were.
Yeah.
You gotta believe it. We always try to make people into who we want them to be. What we want, what description we want them to fit in our life, and not everybody belong there. So it's gonna always be a fallout. It's gonna always be a line crossed, because they don't belong there. No matter you put on a size 8 and you wear a size 9, that shit gonna hurt. It's gonna keep fucking your feet up, and until you get it right, shit gonna keep messing up.
So you came home, went to the halfway house, and then went back to jail?
I went back to jail after I came home on home confinement.
Okay.
How long did you do again now?
I was there for the weekend.
It was like a violation?
Oh, just
I was there for the weekend. It was out Montgomery County, so I ended up with like a $300,000 bill. But my my brother and my sister, they definitely came to get me. They weren't playing. They like, it was more so my if you get pulled over by the cops, your federal status pops up, like you're a federal inmate. So like they get out the car, guns drawn. Get the fuck! I'm like, what? Like I ain't even, it's crazy. And it was just like, it's just like, oh, this is really not my life. Like I just got pulled into some mess that wasn't really mine. And it just was like, yeah, I can't put myself in that situation no more.
Now that you're clear-minded, successful, a great person from what I know and who I'm talking to so far, like, do you think back on that and just say, what the fuck was I doing? Like, now that
Absolutely.
you're mature and like...
No, seriously. All of it in a whole, right? Because what I often reflect on is the fact that I used to think, like, I wasn't really committing I wasn't doing no fouls, right? Because, like I said in the beginning, all I'm doing is getting the money, right? Nobody was harmed. I never had to shoot.
It's a victimless crime.
Yeah, that's so. That was my mindset. But when you think about it in hindsight, you putting a gun in somebody's face and you telling them, "Get the fuck down! I'm gonna blow your head off if you do this X, Y, Z." Like you're creating a harm.
Traumatic event.
Bottom line, and now I don't know like how she gets to sleep at night. Or her fears about walking to her car or none of these things. It was something I had to, pray about and ask the God for forgiveness for. I actually wrote one of the victims while I was in prison. She didn't write back, but I wrote her, just to apologize. Even though I know apology is not enough, it's not enough. It doesn't take away what was done. There's no real way to rectify it. But the fact that I can acknowledge it and know moving forward, like, my behaviors do affect people. I'm way more conscious about how I react to things, and
that's a different level of maturity. Like for you to recognize that where you went wrong, and be able to account for it and try to make amends, even though it really isn't. But just make that effort. Like A lot of people don't do that when they commit crimes, and
Absolutely.
it's a really mature thing to do, and it's I feel like that sets people aside because you're taking that responsibility to another level, like full responsibility, and I feel like people become more successful after they're in an event like that, and they just say it's 100% my fault.
It's also like from me listening, it's almost like when you're watching a movie trying to figure it out. That canary that sang in the back of that cop car probably saved your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for
You
real.
call him a canary.
Right? Like,
That's what he was.
whatever, whatever that song was that he was singing,
Yeah.
actually probably saved your life in hindsight.
No, seriously. I remember when my mom came to visit me for the first time, and I told her to come by herself, and we were sitting in the visiting room, and she's like, "What's going on?" You know, of course I couldn't talk over the phone, so I told her. I said, "You know, like, listen, I did everything they said I did, and some shit they don't know about. So the thing is, like, I did it." And she was like, "So what are they talking about?" I was like, "I don't know. You know, I just gotta thug it out." I said they're basically they want me to flip on Hassan, and she's like, "Well, that's not an option. So, you know, what type of time are they talking about?" And I'm like, I don't know at this point. And she was like, "You know, I won't lie to you and say, you know, I feel bad that you're in here." She said, "Because I had many sleepless nights when I hear gunfire and all of this thing going on, worried about my daughter more than I worry about my sons." She said, "And knowing you're safe, it really helps me sleep at night." And I said, "Damn, that really it blew my mind, really, because it's like, damn, I'm not really thinking I'm putting that stress or strain on my mom, and what it's doing to her."
That also takes it to a different level of like community, like how people live in some environments. Like that's
course.
common. You know,
Absolutely.
like just to hear gunshots and like to hear your mom
Yeah.
say that, it's probably like, damn.
I feel like you don't
it's heavy.
realize how real it is until you have your own children.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you
Oh,
hearing
God.
gunshots and they're outside. You know what I'm saying? The stress that takes you through. But look, I wanted to ask you this too. How much time did that canary he was talking about get?
Dave got 5 years, and by the time we got sentenced, he was already coming home.
Dang.
Yeah. And
That's
I remember,
crazy.
the day I went down to get sentenced, he had told a guy, "Tell me he's sorry." I said, "Oh yeah, that should go well with sentencing."
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm gonna do with that.
Yeah.
Come on, sorry.
Is he
yeah.
still around, Dave, or
No.
no? Okay.
All right. So, when you're home now, you're working. What are you doing for like income? You don't want to.
So-
you love to make money, but you just can't do it the way you did it anymore.
Yeah, so originally when I started out, I was going to a program called Connection Training, and it wasn't prevalent for women to be going, so it was like a lot of men that I was in the program with. So there was like carpentry, what else? Forklifting, and all of these masculine jobs. And so I initially started doing things like that. I was doing all these masculine trades. And one day, these people came in and they were offering culinary art. So I took the culinary art class, and
Did you have a background in cooking at all before, or
I've been cooking
an
since I was
interest?
9 years old.
Okay.
Shout out to my grandmother.
How old were you when you were doing these like forklift operators? How old were you now?
30.
So you're 30 years old. Okay. And then you get into culinary arts at 30. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened? Did you get a job in a restaurant? Or?
I started. I graduated valedictorian.
Congrats.
I graduated valedictorian, and then I started. I got my internship at Relish and Earth and Bread Bureau. They both hired me, and so I was working for both of them. And the thing about the kitchen is sometimes there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians, so that ended. I was there. I was at both of them for like a year, a little over a year maybe, before I quit. I quit both of them the same day. Got my checks and went and bought the supplies I needed to start my own business.
Nice.
What were those supplies for somebody that's out there listening? Like, wait.
I had went and got a deep fry. Well, I got a table because I knew I would be outside. I got a deep fryer. I had went and got sternals and chafing dishes. I went and bought the food, started promoting, and came outside.
How much was your investment to start up? Deep fryer, food, table, $1,000.
A lot. No, it was way more than 1,000.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was way more than 1,000.
A few $1,000s.
I won't say a few thousand. I'll say like probably like 1,700.
Just for people listening that think like they can't do something because it, you know, if you think about starting a kitchen for you, if you don't know, you might say, man, that must be $10,000. But like with a good mindset, a couple $1,000s and some skills.
Some grind and
I'm
hustle.
about to say, really, you could start with 100. I won't say 100. 100 is a lie, but they do got like what is it, like $40, $50 fryers at Walmart. Start with fish sandwiches.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, like you gotta get it how you live. Start with 50-cent wingdings or whatever you call them. Like it's all about how you start. You know,
So you started this
Initiative. Just take the initiative.
bottom line.
You had this restaurant, and something that you said earlier that ties in this, which is interesting, is you have a program where you let high school seniors eat for free.
Absolutely. So the seniors in the city of Philadelphia can come to 2832 Ridge Avenue, and I'll feed them for free. They show me their ID, and I feed them.
I was gonna say he'll be there tomorrow, so you have to have an ID.
So is it specific days or is it just like every day?
They show up, I feed them.
Wow.
That's what's up.
Do you have to just be a senior?
You got to be a senior.
I was about to ask that question.
So I feed
'Cause
the
those are
seniors
jobs.
for free, but I do have $5 meals for regular students, regular high school students. $5. They can get $5.
And is that through your nonprofit?
Nope.
That's
Just through
through your
Size
heart.
Palace. Yep, just through my heart. Yeah.
Nice.
That's tough.
Very
That's
nice.
heavy.
So you were selling platters out of your house first?
Yes.
And then
Yep.
you were grinding
I was
up?
selling out of my house. I started doing pop-ups at the masjid. I started doing when they started doing vending. That's how I actually came about getting my business license and stuff. Cause everybody calling me out to come do these pop-up shops, and I didn't know. Like they're like, you got this license, you got that. I'm like, no, I don't even know what the hell that is. So
What type
you
of
know,
licenses
then,
are involved actually for like
so-
getting into food or I'm
So-
sure like Board of Health, stuff like that?
Yeah. So I had got my commercial activities license and my EIN originally, and somebody told me like that was all you needed, and then it was like you meet somebody else, they're like, no, you need a vendor's license, you need this type license, and it's like every stage, the more I grew, is like the more people put me on game. Like, no, you can't just do that. You need this, you need that, and trial and error. But I often tell people the story like I got my restaurant, my brick and mortar, the day I quit cooking, right? Because cooking out of my house was becoming a little overbearing because I found myself screaming at my daughter. She was a kid. So I have a 21-year-old and I have a 7-year-old. So my 7-year-old at the time, she was 4. So she's playing in platter plates. She's playing with spoons and forks. She don't know. She's having fun at her house. And it was just like, I found myself yelling at her, and I'm like, how am I making her uncomfortable in her house? And I was in the middle of typing a post like, I'm sorry, guys, for any inconvenience it may cause, but Size Palace last day of existence was yesterday. Like, I would no longer be cooking, et cetera, et cetera. And before I could press send, my phone rang, and I'm like, tried to push it to voicemail, called again. So I'm like, all right, I answer it. And it's my cousin, and he's like, how do you feel about opening a restaurant? I'm like, yeah, well, I would. I just quit though. he's like, no, I'm being serious. And I'm like, me too. Like, I'm literally in the I was trying to send the damn post, but you keep calling me. And he's like, he was like, no, I got the spot. He was like, but it's not doing well. I don't have time to monitor that and my other businesses. And I know everybody in our family cooks, but I really trust you with your passion to, do what you need to do. He said, so if you want it, it's yours. And I was like, I want it. I want it. And he was like, well, just come see it for, I don't need to see it. I don't need to count here what's on there. I want it. And I went to see it, and that was December 30th. And I opened, after getting all my paperwork and stuff, I opened January 30th.
This was a brick and mortar
This year?
location?
Yes.
This year?
No, 2020.
Oh,
2021, I'm sorry.
Okay, right after COVID, or during COVID.
During COVID.
Okay, wow.
That's what's up.
So, and how'd you go about, because you were in the kitchen of your house, you wore all the hats. You're doing marketing, you're doing sales, you're doing cooking, you're doing How did you go about like passing them tasks off to other people? Especially, I think the hardest task probably first to pass off is your cooking because that's what people are coming
It's
for.
so
No,
hard.
trusting people
No,
and your
seriously.
business too.
I probably get on people's nerves.
Yeah.
They say I'm worse than Ramsey. What? I need you to
Yeah.
like. People show up for consistency, and I'm hard to please. Like the first time somebody does something in terms of food or anything that I don't like is like, yeah, I'm never going there again. Like you can count me out. So like I can't have that attitude and then I'm not giving consistency. So it's like I'm adamant about like what are you doing? Like why did you spin your hand that way? You probably added too much. Just throw it away. Just start over. And it's like, God damn, like I can be something else in the kitchen.
Yeah, because it's like it's your name, and you trust these people to play. You need to uphold your name to the standard that you built.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I get
fire people for less.
Yeah,
How many employees do you have?
At the moment, 4.
Nice.
that's
Very nice.
That's what's up.
So what else are you involved in besides the restaurant?
So I do a lot of work in the community. I don't like to say I'm an activist. I just work with the community, taking care of the babies, making sure they safe, making sure they have a future, man. Because at the rate that we're going, they're dying left and right, and a lot of them, again, as I was just saying earlier, there's no love being poured into them. But if they don't know nothing else, they know they could come to 2832 Ridge Avenue and get some love.
Yeah.
And the ones that can't, I go to them. So beyond that, I'm also working on, I have a 16-week program that I'm looking to get into the prisons with aiding men and women who are returning to society, because what I know about returning to society is it isn't easy, right? And when you lost decades of your life, you coming back into a room that no longer existed, right? So everything is so techy nowadays, and we talk about people that's been away for years. They have absolutely no clue of how this world operates. And this is why recidivism is so high, because they're not prepared for their entrance back into society. And nobody has the time to slow down and hold their hand and walk them through everything, because people have lives of their own. So I feel like if we started the process while they're there, and their transition would be a little easier into society.
And the system kind of wants them to come back too.
Quite naturally, with open arms. They're waiting.
Mm-hmm.
They're waiting with open arms.
They're not doing much to get them prepared to come home.
Of course not.
Yeah.
They say you got to want it. Because all of the same tools that I'm using in my program and stuff that your counselor could have told you.
Yeah, but they're not.
Of course not.
So is that
How they going to get you back?
Yeah, right. So is that along the lines of like just like living in everyday society, or basic stuff like using a cell phone and stuff like that?
I feel like everything.
Everything? All
Everything.
right. Okay.
Because there's people who've been in prison for 20 and 30 years that are about to come home.
Yeah.
That have never touched a touch screen. Like I have an uncle who's done that much. He's done 40 years. So like he's like, this should be freaking him out. Like every day is something new.
Imagine paying a bill. Like just I'm just thinking like
seriously
anything just like that, like paying a bill.
Yeah.
Tapping to pay. Like what the hell did that even mean?
How about 40 years ago, how much a loaf of bread cost?
Yeah,
Seriously.
inflation.
And then what a loaf of bread costs now.
I'm telling
A
you.
loaf of bread was 35 cents. Now it's like $5. It's crazy.
It's like that like Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, right.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. Like even when I first came home, that's why I was like so scared, because I'm like, I don't want to color outside the lines. People be coming back for nonsense. Like I ain't coming back just because somebody picked me up. I felt like somebody was watching me. Like I'm not doing it.
No, for real.
But
Yeah, so I seen that you had a TV stint going on.
yeah.
What was that about?
BET Trap Queens. So basically, they did a documentary about my past.
How did that even how did that happen? End up happening?
So there was a brother, Shady Black. He was on a plane with one of the producers from the show, and they were talking about the show, and he mentioned me, and he called me like, these people want to reach out to you. Is it okay to get them your information? I was like, yeah, it's fine. And they reached out to me, got my story, and then started talking, a language that I, that's my love language. They started talking of money.
Yeah.
So
So you got
sense.
paid.
That's
You
what's
paid
up.
to be on there.
Yeah, so it made sense.
Yeah. What did that consist of? Did they just do like a story on you, an episode, a couple episodes?
So it's one episode. Is season 3, episode 6. We're actually the last season on that whole show. They're not bringing it back. So they're basically just talking about my transition, like from the life that I led all the way up into my prison stint, and then my success after prison.
Kind of like the podcast.
Yeah.
It is a great story. I mean, this is really.
It's probably one of the best podcasts yet.
This is great.
Not to throw shade on anyone else that was on here already, but this was awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
He'll be editing it. He'll be cutting that out. He'll be cutting that out.
I'm in awe the whole time. I'm trying to think of different questions. I'm just like, your story is crazy, man. Especially where you at right now. It's crazy. I'm pretty sure it's motivating too to like a lot of young women and men out there.
What's in the future works for you though now?
So in the future, I have a mobile boutique that I'm working on. It's gonna be last minute leads because I'm a last minute Linda. I like to say, I'll get my outfit the hour before I'm supposed to show up somewhere. I'm terrible, but I gotta be decent. I gotta be fly. So, for the people who are like myself, I want to be able to pull up on them and let them get an outfit to be able to accentuate their event or whatever they have going on.
Me.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I have last minute leads. I have a podcast coming up, chatting over Chi-Chi's.
Chatting over Chi-Chi's.
Yeah, chatting over Chi-Chi's. I have Lockdown Love, the ceremony. I host the annual ceremony honoring men and women who've become successful after incarceration. That's always at the end of the year because it's like all year long people grind and, strive to achieve their goals. So by the end of the year, they've achieved everything
That's
they're
awesome.
achieving for this year. So, give them that love and that encouragement. Everybody walk away feeling like $1 million. It's a red carpet event every year. Reason to be in a suit and tie, evening gown. Reason to dress up and show off.
Yeah.
I feel like when you do dress a certain way, you have a different mindset. I feel
Absolutely.
like you carry yourself differently.
It's true.
It's not a matter of me being an older person or you being a younger person. I feel like when you dress a certain way, you're carrying yourself a certain way and you're
Absolutely.
getting looked at a certain way. So I
Absolutely.
think that's important. It's always one thing. Like even when I was coming up and I worked in a mailroom, I didn't know anything. I didn't know nothing about, but I knew I had the nicest tie. You know what I mean? Like I knew I dressed nice, and it meant something to like the older people and whatever. But yeah, I think that's important. So
What about for the restaurant? Are you looking to
Expansion.
expand? Yeah, different
Absolutely.
locations.
I'm currently in search of a new location because I'm a culinarian. So
Wait, anybody that's listening, any commercial buildings, reach
so
out.
I'm saying reach out. Reach out. So I love plating, and I feel like we don't have any upscale soul food restaurants, and I want to be able to offer that. So
Okay.
that's nice.
I can't wait.
Yeah. This guy.
For real.
Did you ever get to meet anyone famous through your story or through your path?
besides me,
Yeah.
I've met a lot of famous people. Well, Little Kim is a very dear friend of mine. That's like my sister.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so doing time with her for the weekend turned into a lifelong friend.
Oh, nice.
It's awesome.
Through her, beyond the Trap Queen stint.
Well, real quick, not to cut you off. Y'all kind of had the same type of situation, right? Then a guy telling her to.
Yeah, she wasn't doing no crimes. Though.
Yeah.
Her, she I think it was perjury or something.
Oh, all right. Okay.
So through her, you got to meet other people, and
Yeah, absolutely. Like, cause anytime she's in the city or surrounding tri-state area, she always called me out to come to the shows and stuff like that. So quite naturally, it's like Remy Ma and Fat Joe, Jada Kiss. Oh my God, he's really like one of my favorite people. Let me say, there's like so many people, but like
But from the city.
But from the city, yeah. I was about to. Yeah, I had to bring it back. I had to bring it back to the city real quick because like Beans and Freeway and Neef and those are my guys.
Nice.
It's like Yeah, like all of the.
You're the real queen.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
So
I show a lot of love, so I receive a lot of love. I can
Yeah.
say
yeah,
that.
it's reciprocated. That's
Absolutely.
that's for sure.
Yeah, you feel it.
So when's the podcast dropping? That's
Soon.
interesting.
I've literally. So I just hopefully locked down a team.
Okay.
It's been a lot,
I
but
thought you were gonna say a sunroom.
I thought you were gonna say a video guy. Anthony.
well, yeah, that was part of it. The videographer is like everybody wants to do it until they got to show up. Oh yeah, I'm there. Kill me in. Oh my God, that's decent. I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of it.
It's a grind.
Everybody want to be a part of the process until it's time to be a part of the process. Is what I'm learning.
And then they're going to be a part of the result once the results are there. So
pick me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
do you have a timeline on it?
yeah, so I actually gave myself the middle of May.
Okay. Month.
Middle of May. Yep. I didn't want to keep taking time off because it's like, what are you waiting for?
That was me and Lil. Like we were just going back and forth for so long about it.
It's like I got the
for a
content.
year.
It's never ending. You know, I got the content. I got everything. I'm ready to go for
resources, the
It's just-
story. You got it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just
For
gotta put
sure.
it out there.
We planned this like a year ago. We
Maybe
was talking
longer.
about this spot. Yeah, probably longer. Like,
We sat down and talked about it a year ago in April in this sunroom.
Yeah.
But even like 6 months or a year before that, we were just back and forth talking about
yeah.
it.
And I actually thought they were just coming here for me to make them dinner all the time. But it
out
actually
to
turned
you for
into
dinner.
something one day. So
All I'm saying is y'all know, like anybody out there that know me know I'm funny acting when it comes to food. Tony. That's all I'm saying. He done fed me. You know, so my slogan is let me feed you, you deserve to eat like this. And all I'm saying is I deserve to eat like this. He fed me. I had the best crab cake ever and I didn't have to make it.
strawberry shortcake's waiting for you.
I cannot
Shout
wait
out
to
to
get my
Tom.
strawberry shortcake. I had crab raviolis.
Birdman rubbing his hands.
I came in here and got queen treatment.
That's it.
Well, you are a queen, and we appreciate having you. How can people get in contact with you? How can they reach you if they want to come on your podcast, stop by at your restaurant,
So
help you with anything you got going on?
So I have Sy Moneybags, SY_Moneybags on IG. I'm also on there under Size Palace for the restaurant and Lockdown Love for anything Lockdown Love and Chatting Over Chi-Chi, the podcast. So any of those, or you can email me sizepalace@gmail.com, lockdownlove19@yahoo.com for anybody that want to submit their bios who want to be selected and nominated for the award ceremony going to be December 30th.
Me and Lil.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Me and
Y'all
Lil, we'll
got
be
it.
there.
Y'all got to be
We'll
there.
show up.
Y'all got to be there.
Like I just put you out of it.
I'm cool. I'm behind the scenes.
He wasn't in prison, right? It's about being in prison.
but he still can come. It's not only for prisoners. The prisoners are the only ones that get
Nominated, okay.
that get the awards. But the ceremony is a
We
community
could change
ceremony.
that tone if you want.
I'll be their guest. I don't mind.
Absolutely, come be their guest. Absolutely.
What about your location again? One more time. for
2832 Ridge Avenue.
Okay.
Nice.
So it seems like it's a wrap today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for
Of
coming. We
course,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Great
I
story.
appreciate y'all having me.
Thank you.